today we're back with the au pair tips series. I kind of let this fall off the bandwagon while I got settled into my au pair job, but now I feel pretty confident in my job and pretty happy and stuff like that, so thought I'd pick it up again. So I've written some notes in my trusty YouTube journal. Today is going to be all about choosing a family and my tips for how to pick a family, like pick the right family for you and stuff like that. It is a grey, it's a cloudy day. The sun's trying to come out, but it's grey and the clouds moving quite fast, so the light goes in and out. That's why I do have my main light on, but you know, and also there's construction going on outside or something. I'm not really sure what's happening out there, so that's what that noise is in the background. But let's get started. So, as I said earlier, this video is going to be about choosing a family and what I recommend. Well, I don't know how I recommend choosing a family. So I'm going to talk about tips and stuff like that. And then the next video will be adjusting to your family and my tips for adjusting to family. So, let's get started. I'm talking at full volume today because my host family is away, so I can film normally. So if you see like this in the next au pair video, that's why. I told about some of these earlier, but I'm going to go more more in depth here. I actually have a cup of tea with me, so I'll be drinking that as well. Well, it's kind of cold because I've been setting up. But that's okay. My first tip is choose an age range you want to work with. I did mine quite broad in that I did 0 to 10 was my age that I would be happy working with. But in reality, I probably, the max age I would have gone is 8, which is the age of the eldest girl here. So, if you are comfortable with a certain age group, definitely go with that. If you're not comfortable with babies or older children, say that. Only 0 to 5 or only 5 to 10 or whatever you feel comfortable with. I didn't really mind. Well, to be honest, I didn't really have a preference. I didn't really mind either way. I've been working with like babies and stuff like that, nannying, so I kind of wanted to work with older children for a little bit. But again, I didn't really mind. This just happened to be the family that suited me really well and that I really liked, so that's why I went with 6 and 8-year-olds. So 6-year-olds. The youngest is 6 and the oldest is 8. That doesn't make sense. But for my next family, I definitely want younger children. Every time I go to film, let's close this window. Every time I go to film, that happens. It hasn't happened all day today. It is 20 minutes to 4, and I've chosen to film now, and that's happening in the background. So I apologise, I talk louder, so it drowns it out a little bit. I don't know. So yeah, and to be honest, like I've got no here. It says it's okay not to know what you want. Like I didn't really know what age group I wanted to work with. I was kind of happy with whatever family suited me. That's okay if you put a broad age range on your profile. That will sort of, you can pick and choose whatever. So yeah. The next tip kind of goes hand in hand with the one before, and I'll talk about why they sort of go hand in hand and they can be the same. Let me have a sip of my tea. My next tip is decide how many kids do you want to look after. Do you want 1 child? Do you want 3? There was an au pair in my village who looked after 5 kids, but the mum was home, so. But she held up with 5 kids, 2 kids, 4 kids, 3 kids. How many kids do you want to look after? How many kids would you be comfortable with? My top note here is challenge yourself. So if you were a nanny like me before and you've only ever looked after 1 child, I've looked after 2 before, so I knew I was comfortable with that. But if you're a nanny and you've only ever looked after 1 child, challenge yourself. Go for 2, go for 3. Why not? See what it's like. Yeah, so I say they go hand in hand because I think it's like sort of the same point in that if you find a family that has a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, but you said you'd only be comfortable up to 8, would you be willing to do that since you've got a broader range of age groups? Definitely think about, well, if I look after 2 kids, would I be comfortable, would I want to go up to my max age, or would I be more comfortable with a younger age range and more children or less children or whatever. So it's up to you how many kids you want to look after. Yeah, I mean, challenge yourself a little bit. I definitely want to next time. I mean, I would love a baby and a toddler and a school age kid or something like that. I don't really know, but I definitely think I want to challenge myself a little bit more. And I know that with younger kids, and the thing is, with younger kids, you might want less because younger kids require more attention, stuff like that. So I don't know. Challenge yourself. That's my advice. So my next point is kind of a big one that I definitely looked for, and that is, what family values are important to you? Are manners important to you? Are as being active important to you? Do they need to be Christian? Do they need to be vegetarian? Do they need to believe in certain things for you to feel comfortable? Do they need to feel comfortable with what you believe in, and you need to feel comfortable with what they believe in as well? So I really looked for a family that raised their children to be polite, well-mannered, well-rounded, all that kind of thing. And this is definitely this family. They're definitely encouraging the girls to be polite and stuff like that. And I think that was something that was really, really important to me, was a family that believed that manners were really important, and being polite and courteous and not rude and spoiled and ignorant and stuff like that. And so if you are a strong believer in that, in something, or your faith, if you have a strong faith, then maybe you want to look for a family that has a strong Christian faith. Or if you are growing your Christian faith, would you be happy to live with a family that practice Christianity? So you could, well, not necessarily Christianity, but that religion, whatever religion you've chosen to take up, would you be comfortable living there and learning about it? Or are you not religious at all? Would you be comfortable with a religious family? Yeah, so just think about what things you really want in a family. I know there are quite a few au pair families that are like, if you spend all your time on social media, we're not the host family for you. Do you spend all day on your phone? I know I certainly do, and I try and put it down, and I'm like, I can't, what? No, I'm joking, but I know that I spend a lot of time online, a lot of time on my phone, a lot of time on my computer. Are you looking for a host family that is comfortable with that? Do you not spend a lot of time on your phone? Are you looking for a host family that also agrees that with no screen time? There's things like that you need to think about. A lot of au pair, a lot of families that have hosted au pairs before, their profiles are really detailed, and they say a lot about what you want, what they want from you, and what you can expect from them and stuff like that. So definitely, and if you have questions, just message them. That's a point I'll talk about in my next video. But if you have questions, just message, say what's your view on this, or when you have a Skype interview with them, which is my next point actually, ask them, what's your view on this? What's your view on that? If you're a vegetarian, say I'm a vegetarian, would you feel comfortable cooking that? If you'd be comfortable cooking your own meals, maybe say, oh, I'd be happy to cook a few meals a week if you're not happy cooking vegetarian or whatever. So I think you need to express your opinions, and they need to express theirs, and see if that is what makes you comfortable and you're happy with that. Because I know there are certain things that I'm looking for, or that I read and I'm like, oh no, I don't like that. And that's okay. It's okay to be like, no, actually, you know what, I don't like you anymore. I wouldn't be comfortable working with you because, well, I wouldn't say because, but in your head think, oh, I wouldn't actually be happy working there because they believe this, or they do this, or they don't do this, or whatever. So you need to make sure that you feel comfortable with them. So the next point is, have a Skype session with the parents. I mentioned this a minute ago. I think it is really important to have a call with the parents. I think face-to-face is really important, so not like a phone call, like a Skype call or a FaceTime or something like that. Because it allows you to visually see what they look like is important too, if that's important to you. But it's being able to see their faces and see their expressions when you say certain things, or when they explain certain things to you, or something like that. Yeah, and it also gives you a chance to meet them and say hi and stuff like that, and get to know what they're like, and see the kids and stuff like that if they allow that. It's really important that you ask questions as well, because I know that when I did Skype calls, I didn't really have questions. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't really have any questions, but now I wish I'd asked questions about the kids and about what they're like and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely, if you have questions, ask. And when you're messaging them, if you have questions, ask. So my top tip is questions. Just ask questions, lots of questions. So I think Skype calls are really important because then you get to know what they like and you can ask more questions about what they expect of you. So the next ones are kind of minor but kind of big ones as well. And the first one is, what hours are you willing to work? And are you willing to do babysitting or extra hours? Most families require a few nights babysitting a week, and some are we will pay you extra, and some are that's included in your week's pay. You need to know what you're willing to work, and is your family, are you looking for family that has set hours every day, or would you be comfortable with flexibility and one week you might work 4 days, the next week you might work 2 or whatever. I know that I really liked knowing what hours I was going to work each week so I could plan, but is that something you would feel comfortable being like, you know, I know that, was that something that you would feel comfortable being, would you feel more comfortable having a set time, a working time, or would you want to be able to be flexible and be flexible with them or whatever? I know one thing that I really like about my host family, and I think my host family really likes about me, well I hope they like about me anyway, is that sometimes they might need to both be out of the house at the same time. Or the other day, I think on Monday, they had the next door neighbours were like, oh, come around for a drink, we've got people over or whatever. And I was sat at home, my host parents were like, would that be okay if you like babysat, feel free to go to bed or whatever. And I was like, yeah, no, that's fine. So would you be comfortable for them to like last minute be like, hey, can you babysit? So yeah, you need to work out what you would feel comfortable with. Are you comfortable with stay-at-home parents, or would you rather full-time parents? I know that was something for me. I read a lot of host families that were like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mum, but I want an au pair, and I think that if you're comfortable with that, then definitely go for that. But I know that I was a little bit like, not that I think it's weird, I think that I wasn't comfortable with that. So yeah, my next point, which I said a lot about, is you need to feel comfortable. If there is something you don't like, if there is something that you don't agree with, or they've said something that you don't understand, clarify. Say, hey, you said this to me the other day, or you said in your profile, or you said in a message, blah 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 blah. Can you clarify what you mean by that, or can you explain more about that? Because if it's something that you don't feel comfortable with, then say it, because they will, if you go into that job and you think, oh, I'm not really comfortable with that, you're gonna hate it. That's the one thing that's gonna be bugging you the whole time. It's gonna be like, oh, don't feel comfortable with that, but I can't say anything. And I think that if you get those things out, if you get those like worries and things out of the way first and early, which I'm also gonna talk about in my next video, you will feel a lot better for it. And you might, if they say, oh, actually, oh yeah, no, that's fine, we mean this by that or whatever. That didn't make sense. We mean this for that. And so you might say, oh, okay, no, I feel comfortable with that. Oh, actually, no, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with that. Sorry. Yeah, if you don't like the job, don't take it. There's going to be other families. There are going to be other au pairs for that family. So, yeah, it's just about feeling comfortable. I think that's kind of my tips. Just feel comfortable with the family that you've chosen and feel confident in your decision. It's going to be great. Just make sure you choose the right family for you. Ask lots of questions during interview, like Skype interviews or messages or whatever. Yeah, so they are my tips for choosing a family. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in my next one.